b, got my m. Last thing I have to do is throw it together in an equation. So I would go y equals, my slope is 1/3 x plus my y-intercept is 4. And that would be your equation. Okay? The biggest thing with those is just making sure that you're plugging in the right things for the x and the y, because a lot of times people swap those around and put, you know, the x there and the y there, or they'll flop it around on the slope. A lot of little things you've got to pay attention to on that. Okay, so on page 15 in your book, there's example 3 that's kind of like a guided one where it kind of helps you to set up a problem just like this. So if I were you, I would try that out and see how you do. So I'd pause your video, try it out, and then see if you get the same answer that I get here. Okay, so the answer that they get in the book that you should have hopefully got is y equals 1/2 for the slope x plus, and then the y-intercept that they got is 7. So that's what it should say on your answer too. Hopefully you got to that. Okay, next thing here. Okay, so we are supposed to convert the equation 2x plus 5y is equal to 10 into slope-intercept form, and then we're supposed to take that and graph it. Okay, so 2x plus 5y is equal to 10. Write that down there. Okay, so when I'm trying to get to slope-intercept, so slope-intercept y equals mx plus b, the big thing is getting the y by itself. So basically I need to take the y and get that by itself. Okay, so what I'm going to start by doing is I'm going to start by getting rid of the 2x. So to get rid of 2x, I'm going to subtract 2x from each side. And that goes away, so then I'll have 5y is equal to negative 2x plus 10, and we remember that we can't combine those together and make it 8x, because you can't do that with adding. Those are different, or not different. They're not like terms, okay? So this one has an x, this one doesn't. We can't combine them together to make 8x. We just keep them separate like that. And then to get rid of the 5y, well, they're right next to each other, so that means multiply. So we would do the opposite of multiplying, which would be dividing. So we're going to divide by 5 on each side. And we got to make sure that we divide everything over here by 5. So 5 divided by 5 comes out to be 1y, or just y. And then over here, taking all of those things divided by 5, it's going to be negative 2/5 x plus, and then 10 divided by 5 is 2. Okay, and I usually, instead of changing that to a decimal, which would be negative 0.4, I believe, usually slope is left as a fraction because it's easier to graph. Okay, so we always have to start with our y-intercept. So in this case, that's 2. So we're going to go over here on our y-axis to 2, stick a point, and then our slope is negative 2 over 5. So negative 2 over 5, our rise is on the top, run is on the bottom. The negative can either go with the top number or the bottom number. It doesn't matter, but it doesn't go with both of them. Okay, it goes with one or the other. So I put it with the negative 2, but you could have kept it a positive 2 and made it a negative 5. It doesn't matter. Okay, so negative 2 is for my rise, so that means I need to drop 2. And then my 5 is positive, so that means I need to go to the right 5. Okay, now if I was thinking about it the other way and having a positive 2 over a negative 5, well, to show it's the same way, I could go up 2, so 1, 2, and then left 5 for the negative. Oops, I didn't go over that one. That would still make a straight line through there, if I could draw a straight line. Okay, so you could go either way with that and be fine. Or you could have kept dropping, you know, go down another 2 and then right 5. Either way is fine. Okay, next problem here, example 5. So this is on page 16. Flip to it here. Okay, it's a story problem here, and they kind of ask us to do a lot of different things. Okay, so first thing it says, the maintenance crew at the Splash and Slide water park have found that their main attraction, the Big Kahuna water slide, needs some additional vertical bracing. there already exists a 10-foot vertical brace near the bottom and a 46-foot vertical brace near the top that is 72 feet from that bottom brace. 2 more vertical braces are needed that are equally spaced between those 2 braces. Model the slide with a line letting the bottom of the slide be the point 0, 10. Okay, they gave us a crap ton of information there, but they also gave us a picture, which is super nice. So I'm going to sketch out the picture here. The picture, I'm going to start with a graph. They tell me that the bottom of the slide is at 0, 10. Well, I can graph 0, 10 on a graph. So if I go, okay, 0 to the right and up 10, maybe we say it's somewhere in there. Okay, so that's the bottom of my slide at 0, 10. Now they tell me that the top of the slide is 46 feet tall, and I also have to go 72 feet over. So if I go over 72 feet and then up 46 feet, which we're just kind of estimating where all that stuff would be, that's the top of the slide. Okay, so that's the bottom of the slide there at 0, 10. The top of the slide, we had to go right 72 and up 46. So the top of the slide would be at 72, 46. Okay, I'm going to draw my slide in here. That's my slide. Okay, and then they tell us there's these vertical braces here. So we've got one vertical brace that drops down at the beginning, another vertical brace that drops down there, and we know that this one's 46 foot tall, that one's 10 foot tall, and then they're going to add 2 additional braces in between here that are evenly spaced. I'm just going to kind of sketch those in as well. These are the 2 braces we're adding in. Okay, so let's look at what the questions ask. So there's an A and a B and a C. Okay, so for A it says, what are the possible coordinates of the top of the slide? Okay, well we just kind of figured that out there, didn't we? So we went over 72, up 46, so the top of our slide would be at 72, 46. So for A, 72, 46 possible coordinates. Now you also could have, I'm guessing why they say possible coordinates is maybe our slide went the other way. You know what I mean? Kind of in this direction, so then it would be like negatives, but for our picture here and the picture they kind of have in the book, that point makes sense. Okay, then the next one says, find an equation for the line modeling the slide. Okay, so we need to find an equation for a line, and we know that the slide is going to cross here at 0, 10 and also at 72, 46, so having 2 points, we can figure out a line, right, just like we were doing. So we want to start with slope. So if we did, our points are 72, 46 and 0, 10. So if we do, we got x and y, x and y. So if we do y minus y, so one y is 46, the other y is 10, over our x's. So if we chose 46 first, we would have to choose 72 first, minus our x and the other one is 0. So if I did 46 minus 10, I'd have 36. 72 minus 0 is 72. And 36, I believe, is half of 72, so that should reduce down to a half. So if you take 36 divided by 36, you get 1. 72 divided by 36, you get 2. So our slope here is going to reduce down to 2. Okay? Now using what we did before, y equals slope, our m is 1/2 x plus our b. Well, again, we need an x and a y. Well, we've got that in our ordered pairs. I'm going to choose 0 and 10 because they're smaller numbers. So my x is 0. So I've got 1/2 x is 0 plus b is equal to my y is 10. Plug in a 10 for the y. Then I solve that out for b. Well, this one's nice because if I take a half times 0, that's just 0 plus b is equal to 10, and 0 plus anything is just itself. So our b would be equal to 10. So that information right there, the m being 1/2, the b being 10, would give us our equation. Y equals our slope, 1/2 x, plus our y-intercept for the b is 10. That would be our equation. Okay. Now this next part here, they ask for C, how long should each additional brace be? Okay, so basically they want to know how tall that is and how tall that is. Okay, so one piece of information we're missing from our picture here is that we don't have how far apart these are, but it did tell us that the vertical braces are equally spaced. Okay, so if I've got 3 spaces here and I know the total distance goes to 72, if I take that total 72 and divide it into 3 equal spaces, I know that each of those are 24 foot apart. Okay, so that's 24 foot there, 24 foot there, 24 foot there. Okay, because if I do 72 divided by 3, I get 24. That would give me equal spaces. Okay, so knowing that those are 24 is going to help us, because if I follow a straight vertical line up there, if that goes from 0 to 24 there, I'm up to 24 here for my x. So my x is 24. I just have to figure out my y for that point. Okay, same thing here. Well, I went 24 and then I went additional 24. That would be 48 over. So for my point there, I'm at 48 for my x, and I just have to figure out the y. Okay, and then the y will tell me how tall those braces are, which is what I want to know. So what I can do is I can use my equation that I just came up with. So y equals 1/2 x plus 10, and I'm trying to find y here, but I know what my x is. I know my x is 24, so I can plug a 24 in for the x. So 1/2 times 24 plus 10, and that'll figure out what my y is. Okay, so if I do half of 24 would be 12 plus 10 should come out to be 22. So my y would be 22 feet for that one. And then for my next one there, same thing, I go y equals 1/2, and then this time my x is 48. So plug 48 in, plus 10. So half of 48 is 24, and then 24 plus 10 would be 34. So my y for the other one is 34 foot. Okay, and then that would also be 22 there and 34 there in those ordered pairs.